Hello, class. I am sorry that I can't be with you guys today, but I did want to give you a rundown of what I expect you're doing in class and what you turn in by the end of class, okay? So, you guys need the following three documents in front of you in order to complete today's activity. You need your completed Declaration of Independence note sheet, which, as you can see, there is a screenshot of that. This should be completed already because you have worked on this for the last 2 weeks. The second thing that you need is your annotated Declaration of Independence. So, whether that's your digital copy or your hard copy in your book. And finally, the Definitions of America document. This is something that we did a couple weeks ago when we picked apart Toby Keith's Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, and then you guys did that for your own song about America. Well, it's time to pull that document back out, and now you're going to be filling out the same chart, but for the Declaration of Independence. If you can't find it, go to classwork. It is under week 5, and it is under Definitions of America Evidence Log. So for today's class, you're essentially filling out the third chart on the Definitions of America log, which is pictured here. I want you guys to notice that the chart and the chart you're filling out already has the Declaration of Independence written in the title for you. So that should give you a clue as to which chart you're filling out. The next thing that you're going to do is in the text type, you are going to write foundational document because this is one of America's foundational documents. You can see that on the screen. Finally, you are going to fill the author's name. We know that that is Thomas Jefferson, so please place that in the box with author. And then finally, probably the most important part, you're going to answer your focus, right? And the focus always answers the prompt. So, how does the Declaration of Independence define America or American? And you will just kind of briefly pick 1 to 2 words that America can be defined as. And then finally, once you have filled out all the elements of a fat sentence, so you have your title, your text type, your author, and your focus, use the sentence frame below in order to complete a topic sentence. So, according to the foundational document, the Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson, to be American means, and then please put those 2 words that you have chosen. Now, a little bit more on the focus. Your focus has to answer the prompt and it has to be specific. So if it doesn't do both of these things, then the rest of your paragraph is going to fall apart because you will have no focus on what your evidence needs to be, what your elaboration needs to be, what point you're trying to make. So again, we know that the prompt is asking, how does the Declaration of Independence define America? So if you were to just write, the Declaration of Independence defines America, you're only answering half of the question. You have to be specific. Does it define America as rebellious? Does it define America as the protectors of freedom? Does it define America as someone who stands for immigration? Does it define America as looking out for its people? So use the final column because we've gone through all of this stuff, right? When we did the annotations and the paraphrasing, the final question I had you guys answer for each paragraph was, how does this particular section of the Declaration of Independence begin to define America? So as you can see, it's that final column. So if you're stuck and you don't know how to answer this focus, I would suggest that you choose the best answers in that final column and the ones that are attached to the quotes you are most comfortable with. So if there's a quote in there that is about immigration, but you really don't feel like you would do a good job analyzing that quote, then maybe stay away from your focus talking about immigration. If you feel that one of the terms that defines America is rebellion or standing up for the good of the people, then find the quote in the Declaration of Independence that best communicates that. And that's the quote that you're going to use. So you have your focus down. Now you need to end up embedding your evidence. So after you've chosen your focus and you've filled out the sentence frame to create a topic sentence, you need to choose 2 quotes, okay? Not 1 quote, not 3 quotes, 2 quotes. That is going to have a complete body paragraph for you. So choose 2 quotes that support the words you've chosen about how America is defined, and then make sure that you embed that evidence, okay? So you're not just copying and pasting your quote in that column. You are using a signal phrase. You are then using your quotations. You're copying and pasting the quote, and then you are citing it. So again, it says embedded evidence. Make sure it's embedded. Once you are done embedding your evidence, then just simply list the rhetorical appeals or devices that Thomas Jefferson has used in that quote. Again, if you are taking good annotations on your hard copy or your digital copy, if you filled out the Declaration of Independence note sheet, well, all you have to do is copy and paste that. So the 2 rhetorical devices that we focused on were diction and rhetorical appeals of ethos, pathos, and logos. Simply copy and paste those there and just list them. And then finally, you need to then go to that 3rd column and you need to elaborate on your 2 embedded quotes. So again, your elaboration is very specific. You have to talk about the quote that you've chosen, the quote that comes before the elaboration, and answer, how does this quote support my definition of America according to the Declaration of Independence? Again, how does the quote that I've chosen support the definition of America? Okay? So it's all pointing back to the focus. If your elaboration or your quote does not point back to the focus and help you prove that this is how Thomas Jefferson is defining America, then you need to change it, you need to edit it, you need to choose a different quote. Once you have finished all of those boxes, you've got 2 quotes of embedded evidence, you've listed your rhetorical appeals, and you've done a significant amount of elaboration. Only then should you fill out that final row, okay? So when it is saying subjective, do you agree with the author's opinion? Why or why not? Just rephrase that. Do you agree with how Thomas Jefferson defines America? Is everything that he says true? And if it is, then say, yeah, I do agree. And this is why. You know, if you're saying that America is a rebellious country or America stands up for the rights of its citizens, use some contemporary examples or from some historical examples that will help support that that is what you agree with. Now, if you don't agree, then say, no, I don't agree with Thomas Jefferson's definition of America because, and then do the opposite. Give those historical or contemporary examples of why you believe that Thomas Jefferson was misguided. And then finally, the objective stance. This is not necessarily about your opinion, okay? The objective stance, I just want you to answer whether you agree or you disagree. How could somebody else challenge the way that Jefferson defines America? If somebody said, I don't agree with anything that he said, and this is why, then you need to explain why that is, okay? And don't forget, and you guys can see at the bottom, I've put explain in bold and italics. Don't just say, yeah, I agree, or no, I don't agree. You have to go through your reasoning and use some evidence from your own personal experience, from history or contemporary culture, okay? And again, our culture is full of stuff, full of events, the coronavirus, the Black Lives Matter movement, anything from the last 100 years that you could pull from in order to support your opinion, okay? Finally, that should probably take you the majority of class if you're doing it well and you're taking your time. But once you're done, you need to copy and paste that entire chart that you've just filled out into the document that I have posted under week 7, Thursday, Friday exit ticket. Once you have copied and pasted that, that's all you need to do, and then you need to click submit. If you do not submit the document, it will be counted as late and I will not grade it. You have to click that submit button. Otherwise, I'm not going to know that you finished. Okay? Good luck. Ask Mrs. Nash if you have any questions about what you're supposed to be doing or if she can help you in any other way. And I hope you guys have a lovely weekend.